So, Hare Krishna, everyone. Let us start with the class now. So, we are going to deal with the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, see this. If you see, there are how many chapters in Bhagavad Gita?
18 chapters, Prabhuji.
18 chapters. So, this is the 9th chapter. So, this is like, we can say, the middlemost chapter, like, which is there in between. Okay. So therefore, we see this chapter is one of the very much important chapters of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna reveals the most confidential knowledge. He reveals the most confidential knowledge in this chapter. So it is quite important. We'll be learning so many things about it, and there will be one sloka in this chapter, which we'll see a similar sloka will be repeated even in the 18th chapter. So we'll see that sloka also, and we'll understand. So before starting with the class, let us do the starting prayers. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णापृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषाय शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जयो श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, everyone. So with the blessings of our deities, Shri Radha Govind, and also with the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, who has passed down this beautiful knowledge to us. With their blessings, let us start this chapter. Okay. So chapter 9. So see, what are we going to see in the 9th chapter? First is that what are the qualifications and disqualifications about hearing to Krishna? Means why is Arjuna chose for the hearing and all those things. Then Aishwarya Jnana, that is how Krishna's even though how he has a relationship with the material world, that he is there in it, but at the same time he's not there. So that is called Achintya Bheda Tattva. So actually our philosophy is based on this tattva only, Achintya Bheda Tattva, which means the inconceivable potency of the Lord. Okay. Then we'll see non-worshippers and worshipper. Krishna is the supreme object of worship and glories of directly worshipping Krishna. Okay. So let us start with the chapter. This is the first verse of this chapter. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha idam tu kuhyatamam idam tu te kuhyatamam pravakshyami anusuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase shubhat. Okay. Anybody would like to read translation?
Prabhuji, can I read?
Yes.
The Supreme Lord said, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most secret wisdom. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
So see, even I think in the fourth even we saw in the fourth chapter or something that Krishna said the same thing, that because Arjuna is not envious and he's friendly towards Lord Krishna, therefore he's imparting this knowledge to Arjuna, and also as well as all of us. Now see, you might say that, let us say that there are some non-devotees, okay, means atheistic people who do not believe in the existence of God. If they read Bhagavad Gita, does that mean they can never read Bhagavad Gita? No, they can read Bhagavad Gita, but if they have that strong disbelief in the Supreme Lord, then they won't be able to understand anything from them. It will be like you won't be able to understand anything. So those who have faith in Lord Krishna, they can only understand. But sometimes what happens is that some people don't have faith in Lord Krishna. But the thing is that Krishna tries to bring that faith in him by through his instructions in Bhagavad Gita. So slowly, what happens is that he or she will be slowly becoming a devotee of Lord Krishna. So there was one case. Okay, actually, it was like one uh, one day one there was one student. Okay, she actually was she was graduating and getting a PhD in, like, atheism. Okay, that basically it is a topic related to that only. I'm not exactly sure what we call that degree, but it was like something related to atheism, and she was trying to present her thesis, and after which she will finally get the doctorate degree in that particular field. But what happened is that she suddenly somewhere she found Bhagavad Gita. Now what happened is that she was like, she wanted more points for her thesis. So what she said is that, let me start reading Bhagavad Gita. She read Bhagavad Gita with an intention to find points through which she can prove that God does not exist. Okay, and she started reading Bhagavad Gita. Okay, after she read like around 3 to 6 chapters, she started believing in the Supreme Lord, and then what she did is that she burnt her entire thesis and became a devotee in this in Srila Prabhupada's movement. So we see that's how sometimes Krishna brings that faith in you if you start reading Bhagavad Gita. But those who are actually, see, Bhagavad Gita is not like material science. Okay, that let us say maths. Okay, addition, subtraction, and all you can understand. Okay, by practice, and if there is a good teacher who can explain you very nicely, you can understand. But Bhagavad Gita is not that thing which you can understand very easily. Okay, if you try to understand Bhagavad Gita, then what will happen is that if Krishna does not want you to understand, if Krishna does not bestow his mercy for you to understand, then you won't understand anything. But if there is, let us say, an illiterate person who does not know anything, but still uh, if if he or she has the mercy of the Supreme Lord, then even without knowing, even without reading, by even without having a proper reading skill and all, they can still understand the message given by the Supreme Lord. Okay. Now, actually, I'll give you an example after this, but let us now understand this. I think we had revised this in the 7th chapter, but let us see this again now, so that it's a revision for you. So there are 9 processes of devotional service. Actually, this was told by Prahlad Maharaj in a conversation between Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu, he sent Prahlad Maharaj to the demon school to make him come out of this devotion to the Supreme Lord, and he wanted him to get a demonic mentality. So he sent him to the demonic school. So now what happened is that when he sent to the demonic school, after like 3 to 6 months, he was called back. That after 3 to 6 months, there was a testing that if he has understood things or not. So what Hiranyakashipu asked to Prahlad Maharaj is that, what is the best thing you have learned in this entire course of 3 to 6 months? So Prahlad Maharaj says this shloka: Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnum Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanavedanam. That the best thing which I have learned is that there are 9 processes of devotional service, and through these 9 processes you can attain Lord Vishnu. Now this was against what they had actually taught. So he became Hiranyakashipu became very angry at Prahlad Maharaj. So basically, what this says is that Prahlad Maharaj was a very great devotee. That even if even if he was in association of bad people, in association of demonic people, still because of the mercy of the Supreme Lord, his devotion never became shaken by all these external things. In fact, it is said that Prahlad Maharaj was tried to be killed like more than 10 times, where more than 10 ways they tried to kill Prahlad Maharaj. Still he didn't pass his body, because it was all because of the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Now let us understand what are these 9 processes of devotional service. Shravanam means hearing. Okay, first step in devotional service is Shravanam, that is hearing. Okay, now how did you come to this course? First, you maybe heard some advertisement or some video, or maybe let's say you saw the poster. After that you joined the course, and then you started hearing about the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And after that only you started your devotional service. Therefore, Shravanam is the most important process of devotional service. And most of the people start their devotional service through hearing. Okay. So, who attained perfection by hearing? Maharaj Parikshit attained perfection by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam through Sukdev Goswami. Next is Kirtanam, chanting or glorifying. As I mentioned, Sukdev Goswami attained devotional service by glorifying about the Supreme Lord, while talking about while glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam to narrating Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit. Next is Smaranam. Smaranam is remembering. We see by Prahlad Maharaj is a very great devotee, and every single moment used to remember Lord Krishna. And that's how we attain pure devotional service. Next is Pada Sevanam. Pada Sevanam means serving the lotus feet of Lord. And we see Goddess Lakshmi, that is goddess of fortune, the wife of Lord Vishnu, attain devotional service simply by massaging the feet of Lord Vishnu. Then Archanam, that is deity worship. Maharaj Prithu, he attained perfection by performing deity worship. Next is Vandanam, that is praying. Okay, praying. Akrura attained perfection by praying. And then Dasyam, that is becoming the servant, having a mood of servitorship. Hanuman, we see, is a very great example for this, where he served Lord Rama throughout the throughout the entire time we see. Okay, so becoming servant, that is Hanuman. Next is friendship, that is Sakhyam, which was showed by Arjuna. Arjuna was one of the most intimate friend of Lord Krishna, and that is why we see in this chapter Krishna is explaining the message of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And then complete surrender, that is Atma Nivedanam. We see Maharaj Bali, he completely surrendered his entire prosperity to Lord Vamandev. Okay, so these are the 9 process of devotional service. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. So if you remember the sloka, it will be very easy to understand. That is hearing, chanting, remembering, serving the lotus feet. Archanam, that is deity worship. Vandanam, praying. Dasyam, becoming servant. Sakhyam, friendship. And at the end, Atma Nivedanam, that is some complete surrender to Lord Krishna. Yes. Let us see the next sloka. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. Is there translation for this? Okay. Now see, there are here Krishna is saying that this is the most confidential knowledge of, it's king of all the education, okay, king of knowledge. So by uh, by learning through this, you can attain you can attain immense happiness. So here it is become susukham. So see, sukham means happiness, susukham means extreme immense happiness. So if you follow this knowledge of the most confidential knowledge which Krishna is about to reveal, then we'll be we can attain immense pleasure. Now see, uh, immense happiness, okay. Now see, there are stages of knowledge. First is social knowledge, okay, that how to greet people, all those moral values we learn in school, okay. Now see, people say that moral education is very important. Yes, it is important, but like spiritual knowledge is even more important than moral education. Okay, people say, what's the difference between spirituality and moral education? Moral education is like be good, be nice, everything. Okay, but spiritual education is beyond this morality. It's like it's the devotion towards supreme law, which is even beyond any moralities. Okay, so now see, whoever implements the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, automatically they attain the moral knowledge. So therefore it is not that much, so morality is just a part of spirituality, it is not the entire spirituality. People consider that what is spirituality, it's basically same as morality, that be good, be nice, talk nicely to others. No, it's not just that. It's talking about various things, karma, then how to serve the Lord, and there's many aspects. Morality is just one very small part of spirituality. So that's the social knowledge, how to greet people, all these things. And also the social knowledge which are taught in the schools, that about the history of India, geography, all the places and all these things is called social knowledge. Then there is Ayurvedic knowledge. This is about the various diseases and all those cure. And nowadays we see Ayurvedic knowledge is not taught in schools and colleges, but like there are few still colleges which are still talking about it. So therefore it is very nice, but it is becoming more and more rare. Then astrological knowledge, that is about the planets and all those things which you learn. Okay, also there are various other things which are present in our Vedas but not taught in the schools and colleges. So we see astrological knowledge is also slowly going away. Then we have scientific knowledge. All these things we learn about physics, then chemistry and all those things, about the living organisms, then all the chemicals, then about various things, that is called scientific knowledge. And then above scientific knowledge we have Gita knowledge, that is the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. All these things we are learning about devotional service, that is what is called. So that is and especially this chapter reveals the most confidential knowledge, and it's the king of all knowledge. Okay, now see, just like how we are not, if we are not serious in school, we remain in the same class. Okay, we are not serious at all, we don't care if exams come and go, we are not going to study anything and all those things. If you are like, see, if you are not at all serious, no, then we like nowadays the school education system is like that you can easily pass out till 10th grade and all, but like we see that still some kind of seriousness is required. Okay, so just like that, if you are not serious in the process of devotional service, we'll remain in the same cycle of birth and death. So therefore we have to try to be serious in this process, because and you have to believe in this process. Otherwise you won't be able to succeed in going back home, back to God. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matsthani sarvabhutani nachaham tesvavasthita. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. So see, we saw in the first we saw the sections, right? Aishwarya Gyan, Krishna's Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Now see, this is, this is what we say the inconceivable potency of love. That Krishna is there in the material world, but at the same time he's not there. And people say Krishna is nirguna. Nirguna means no qualities. But what does that imply? No material qualities. So Krishna has spiritual quality. Krishna is nirakar. That is, Krishna does not have form, but that means Krishna has no material form. Yes, spiritual form. So this is Krishna's inconceivable potency, that he is there inside the earth, but also not there. Okay. Now see, people say that Newton discovered gravitation, and many people they say this story was that apple fell from a tree, it hit Newton's head, and that's how he discovered gravity. Okay. Now see, Newton observed the apple fall, but who actually made the apple fall? It is Lord Krishna. It is actually Lord Krishna who gave him the intelligence to discover this particular thing. Okay. Now, who would like to read that? Who would like to read this? Anybody?
No, Prabhuji. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay. So what does this say is that, see, this material nature, which is one of the energies of the Supreme Lord. Okay. We saw that, we learned in the 7th chapter, right? Inferior potency, then superior potency, then marginal potency. In marginal potency, we come the living entities. In superior potency, we see comes the spiritual nature of the Supreme Lord, and then in the inferior potency, that is material nature. Okay, so this is one of the energies. Okay, inferior energies of the Supreme Lord. We also saw that that there are 3 types. We saw in the 7th chapter. So what Krishna says that this one material and nature, which is one of my energies, it is produced, it is produced and it is created and destroyed again and again. Even in the last chapter, we saw that Brahma on every day, in his every day, he creates all these things, and by the time night reaches, he destroys all these things. Okay. And then all this on all these unmanifested souls rest on the body of Lord Vishnu, and after the day, once the night of Brahma passes and the day of Brahma comes, all these unmanifested things becomes manifested again. See, unmanifest means not in a form that we can see, and manifest means it's something like which we can see and which we can sense. Okay. So that's what you understand by manifest. Okay, manifest and unmanifest. So we see that this universe is destroyed and created again and again. Okay, and this is not only one. There are not only one universe. There are millions and billions of universe in this entire material manifest. In this entire cosmic manifestation. Okay, so this is the every universe is destroyed and produced again and again. In fact, I will show you the Goloka chart today if time permits, and I'll explain you various things. Okay. Now let us understand this sloka, 11th sloka of the chapter. Avajananti mamudha manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhutva maheshwaram. Who like to read the translation? Please read. Yes, you can read.
The foolish Muddha consider Krishna as an ordinary human being because they do not know the confidential activities of the Supreme Lord and his different energies. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay. So there are many foolish people, okay, or sometimes you can say impersonalist also. What they think is that whenever Krishna comes to this material world, last chapter also we saw this thing, I think 8th or 7th, no, yeah, maybe 8th chapter, that what does impersonalist or some foolish people think is that whenever Krishna comes into this material world, he comes in his ordinary human material body, okay, and they think is that every time he comes, he takes a material body, otherwise he doesn't have any form, okay, and because of that they consider Krishna as an ordinary human being, okay. Like see, people like Duryodhana, we see what he used to consider Krishna as some kind of person who, trickster or a magic person, person who knows so many magic things, and due to his various various siddhis, he's able to do so many things. But he never considered himself. He never considered Lord Krishna as the supreme Lord. He only considered him as a human being who knew so many magic tricks. Okay, and because of such people who show such type of foolishness, they cannot see the confidential activities of the supreme Lord, okay, and his different energies. Even though see, even though let us even though we saw that in front of Duryodhana, Krishna performed various pastimes, okay, which showed him that he's not an ordinary human, but the Supreme Lord himself. But still, in fact, he showed his miniature version of his Vishwarupa, okay, and even then, Duryodhana couldn't believe that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. In fact, Bhishma Dev, Dronacharya, all these people knew Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and they all tried to convince that you should not consider him as an ordinary being. But still, Duryodhana did not believe, and because of this, he could not. Even though he saw all the pastimes of Lord Krishna in front of his eyes, but still he couldn't see it in its proper way. That he is Krishna, the Supreme Lord, and he has come to give pleasure to all his devotees. He couldn't see that. Okay. Some people say, they give this excuse that I'm too busy for temple. Okay. I'm so busy for going to temples and all, who goes, this is the time where we work and enjoy with the family. Why should we go to the temple and all this? But like, see, that is also type of foolishness. Okay, people have time to watch movies, people have time to watch, watch TV for like 1 or 2 hours. We see, whenever there is a cricket match or whenever there is a any sports event, they're ready to watch, anytime. Okay, they'll take a holiday from their from their work, and they will watch the particular show or something. But still they will say, I'm too busy for temple, I don't have time to go and visit the temple, even though it's not that that of a difficult task. But still people think that see, basically people have time, but they don't want to take out time from it for the Lord, and that is type of foolishness. And such people will never be such type of people who who give excuses, okay, in devotional service. They will never be able to further progress in their paths. सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढावृता नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते. Okay, now here this is also see, this is also one of the very important slokas that Krishna says that the worship me with devotion, and that is satatam. Okay, that is 24/7, 24, all the throughout the entire your life. You should every single moment you have to remember Lord Krishna. Now these are the standards of Lord Krishna. So it's not possible that we, especially in this age of Kali Yuga, it is not possible that we follow these standards. So therefore it is better that if we take out some time, let us start say that let us say 10 minutes or 20 minutes, you can chant few rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and that is how we can remember Lord Krishna. And slowly you can try to increase your standards, and try to be regular in your chanting. Okay, so therefore it is not it is not that you can constantly remember Lord Krishna, but you can still remember Lord Krishna by performing devotional activities, by remembering the Lord. You can even remember the Lord before taking your food, or let us say in 7th chapter we saw that Krishna says that one of his opulence is that he is the taste of water. Whenever you are drinking water, you remember that, oh, this water, the taste of water, which is so satisfying and quenching my thirst, is basically is one of the opulences of Lord Krishna. When you go out and you see the sun, the light, the heat and the light present in the sun and moon is all because of Krishna. So that is how you can remember Lord Krishna, through various different ways. Whenever you see the soil and you get the beautiful smell of the soil, that time also you can remember, oh, this fragrance of the earth is also one of the opulences of Lord Krishna. In fact, not this chapter, but the very next chapter, that is the 10th chapter, is basically all about opulences, where we'll see so many different examples. So therefore, with those examples, you can try to remember Lord Krishna through various different ways. Okay, so therefore that is how you should try to remember Krishna constantly. Okay, now engaging all activities in the service of the Supreme Lord, this is called Krishna consciousness. And whenever you perform any activity, try to offer the results to the Supreme Lord. Okay, now this is also very very beautiful shloka. Okay, in fact, the entire I would say almost many of the shlokas in the 34th among the 34 shlokas in this chapter are very important and very very beautiful. They explain a very nice message and a meaning. Okay, let us see this. Okay, ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktana yogakshemam vahamyaham. Okay, that those who worship. Okay, anybody would like to read the translation?
Prabhuji,
Yes, you can.
those who worship me, I carry what they
Sorry.
lack and I preserve what they have.
Okay, so let us understand this two different stories. Okay, we see that I hope many of you might be knowing Sudama's story, but I'll still try to explain in short that what happened is that Sudama was in the need of money, and Sudama's wife encouraged Sudama to go to Lord Krishna, his very dear friend, in the his very dear friend, and uh, get some help from him. Okay, now so that he can sustain his living. Okay, now he thought that I can't go to Krishna empty handed, so what he did is that he took a poha. We say, I think, poha in Hindi, and it is actually called chipped rice. Okay, I think it's called poha only in Hindi. Okay, so he took some amount of chipped rice, and he went to Lord Krishna. Okay, and then what happened is that there are various security people, and they asked that why this poor man with very torn clothes and not even wearing proper, why is he coming? Okay, so he asked that why are you entering the palace of Lord Krishna? Okay, so so he's like, I'm one of the very dear friends of Lord Krishna. Like, I can't, I can't allow you, how can I believe? Like, you can go and ask Lord Krishna. Okay, so then what happened is that once they told they informed Lord Krishna that one of your dear friends called Sudama has arrived. He became so happy that he left his throne and personally came to invite him to the palace. And then what happened is that he put, made Sudama sit in the throne and washed his feet because he's a Brahmana. And we see that's how Krishna is teaching us how the ideal way we should respect our guest, and especially those who are Brahman, those who are preaching the message and who have devotion towards the Lord, how we should invite them into to your home. Okay, so Krishna is teaching us through this example that then Sudha, he washed his feet, and we see that he gave we see that that's how we see there are various things we see. Okay, now, and what happened is that they started talking about their childhood days, that all these things we used to do and all this, and they, like, hours and hours they kept on talking. Okay, and then what happened is that uh, Sudama was kind of hesitating, hesitating to ask about the thing. Okay, I mean, he was hesitating to give that chipped rice. Okay, so Krishna is like, oh, you have brought something for me, bring it on. Okay, so he took that and he tasted the chipped rice. And after that we see, after they started talking, and after they're talking and all those things, we see that Sudama left. Okay, after he left the palace, okay, when he realized, oh, I forgot to ask Krishna about help, the main purpose which I came for, I forgot to ask. Okay, so therefore he's like, oh, now what's the use of asking, but Krishna is present in the hearts of everybody as super soul, and he can understand all those things. Okay, all the desires. So what happened is that he went back the same route to his home. Okay, but he said that he couldn't find his hut. Okay, and he was like, and then he, in front of him, he saw a very huge palace, very royal palace. Okay, he was like, where is my home, where is my hut, I can't find my home. Okay, he started asking to the people that there used to live, my wife used to live here, and where is, but that time he got to know that Krishna actually gifted, Krishna actually fulfilled his desire and gave him an entire royal palace with a lot of servants to serve him and all those things. Okay, and he became and he was so overjoyed that and he was seeing that how Krishna helped him even though he didn't ask. Okay, so therefore Krishna's, again he says, those who worship me, I carry what they lack. So Sudama lacked prosperity and all these things, a proper house and proper food. Okay, so he carried what they have and preserved what they have. Okay, so he preserved those chipped rice which Sudama had. Okay, so this is how we see in this this beautiful story we can understand this example. Okay, that I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. Now let us go to the next sloka. I hope you understood the story, and I think many of you already know the story. Okay, now next, this is the 25th verse. Okay, who were yanti deva vrata devan putra yanti pitravata bhutani yanti bhutej yanti bhadyajinopi mam. Actually, the proper translation is not given here, the entire translation. So what does it say is that those who worship the demigods, they go to the heavenly planets. Those who worship the forefathers, they go to the planet of forefathers. Those who go to the those who worship the ghost, they enter the ghostly planets. And those who those who worship the Supreme Lord, that is, those who worship Krishna says that those who worship me will come to my abode. Okay, that if he worship Lord Krishna, he will come to the we will go will so whoever worships Lord Krishna will live with Lord will live in his abode. Okay, so according to who you worship, you will get your own destination. Okay, This is what the sloka says. I hope you understood this. Hare Krishna. Yes. Now let us see the next sloka. Again, very nice sloka. I think I had quoted this before in previous classes as well. But let us see this sloka. Now we'll see the 26th sloka of this chapter. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upaharatam ashnami prayatatmanah. Who would like to read the translation?
Prabhuji, can I?
Yes.
If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it.
Okay. So this is the menu card given by Lord Krishna. Okay. We cannot offer. See, many people say that, many people say that we should offer things and then only we can eat, so that our sins, I told you in the 3rd chapter that if you offer the things and if you offer the things and then you take it, then what will happen is that it will become prasadam, and then you can, then you can have it and you won't get the sinful reactions. Okay. Because of the inconvenience caused to the plant or the animal. Okay. Now many people say that ways, why can't we offer non-vegetarian food? Why do you people say that you should not eat non-veg and all those things? So see, here it is clearly written. If it was written that, andanam, chickenum, veg kebabam, or anything like that, you could have offered it. Okay. But Krishna says that what the 4 things: leaf, flower, fruit, or water, or anything made out of these things. Okay. If you offer such things, only Krishna will accept. Okay. So therefore, don't try to offer anything outside this. Okay. So what does that mean is that we should offer, food, sanctified food only, which is, of course, which is vegetarian, and which does not have, onion and garlic. Okay. Because onion and garlic are considered to be tamasic. If I get time, I'll also say the story why they are considered to be tamasic. Okay. So if one offers if one offers these things with, see, now this all things is okay, that you offer this, but what is the main element? See, it is written, yo me bhaktya prayachati tadam bhakti upaharatam. So bhakti word we see comes 2 times. So what does bhakti means? Devotion and love. So if you offer it with devotion and love, then only Krishna will accept. Okay. If you offer a huge meal without any devotion, then Krishna won't accept. But if you offer smallest of things, but with, with full love and devotion, then Krishna will, accept it, and, he will take it. Okay. So therefore we see devotees who offered with love. Sudama, who offered chipped rice. Then we see that how, Gajendra, elephant, offered the lotus flower to the Lord Vishnu. Then we see that, we see the pastime of Lord Rama and Shabri, a very great devotee who offered, fruits to Lord Rama. Now see, you might ask that how can an elephant offer, lotus flower to the Lord? So see, okay. So of course, people do not believe in the shastras, all those things. They'll say, oh, it is just imaginary and, myth and all those things. Okay. But now we see that it is proved that, National Geographic Channel, that elephant Koshik speaks like a human. It can, uses a trunk to say, say things, and, that's what the study says. We see that Gajendra Moksha, he had offered prayers to the Supreme Lord. Now you might ask, how did you offer the law prayers, and, this is all, imaginary stories and all. But now we see, this is why we should believe in the Shastras, that see, this is all that now it is proved also that elephants can speak like humans. Okay. Now, what is prasadam? Prasadam is the food that is offered to the Supreme Lord. Okay. Now, anybody would like to read this?
Prabhuji, can I read?
Yes.
Easy Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON, says Krishna does not accept anything from the hands of a non-devotee. Why should he accept? He is not hungry. He does not require any food. He accepts only the devotion. That's all. That is the main point. So one has to become a devotee. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
So that's what, as I said, that you have to offer it with love and devotion. If you don't, if you have no interest and just for the sake of doing it, that in Bhagavad Gita it is written that we have to offer these things, so let us offer it anyways. Okay. With no interest and with no devotion, if you offer, then you will be, then Krishna, he said, why should he accept? Because it's not that he's hungry, okay, that he's not, it's not that he's not hungry, okay, it's not that he's hungry, that he doesn't have food and that's why he depends on his devotees to offer, and after his devotees offer, then only he can quench his then only he can fulfill his hunger. But no, it's not like that. Okay. So he wants to accept the devotion that is present behind it. Okay. It's like there is one saying, okay, love not expressed is not love. Now, how do you understand this? Is that let us say you say to your mother that I love you so much, you have done so much caring for me and all those things. Okay. But let us say your mother has done so much of work, and then she asks you for a glass of water, that can you please bring, I'm very thirsty. But you're like, no, I can't do that, but I still love you. Okay. Now that is, we see that you are not, you are not showing any care or love towards, towards your mother. Okay. So therefore we see that love not expressed is not love. So therefore it should be expressed. Okay. So when you express it by giving a glass of water to your mother when she is thirsty, then we see that you have, you actually care about your mother. Okay. So just like that, we offer, when we offer things to Lord Krishna, then we can say that we actually care and we actually love Lord Krishna. Okay. We actually have devotion and love towards Lord Krishna. Why eat prasadam? To purify our mind, to advance in bhakti, and to develop finer tissues in the brain. Okay. So it can even purify our mind. It can advance and we can advance ourselves in bhakti, and we can also develop, it can have a physical impact also. See, whenever we eat food, right, it doesn't only have the physical impact that your hunger is fulfilled, you get the nutrients and all. It actually has a mental effect also. So that's why sometimes uh, sometimes, see, when you have eaten light food, or when you have eaten like very like fruits and all those things, you will feel that your mind is light. You will actually feel to work and all. But let us say you have eaten heavy food, okay, like I would not, of course, and this is just an example, not recommending to eat non-veg, but like, let us say you have eaten heavy non-veg food, okay. So sometimes your mind won't work, and you'll be very mentally disturbed, okay, if when you are eating such type of things, okay. So therefore, we see that the food not only has a physical effect, but also affects you mentally. So therefore, it is therefore Prasadam helps to purify your mind, advance in bhakti, and develop finer tissues in the brain. Now let us see the 27th sloka of this chapter. Yat karoshi yad ashnasi yad juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaurteya tat kuru swamadarpanam. Here Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, and whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, okay. Basically, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, All these things you should do as an offering to Lord Krishna, and that is the basic principle of Nishkam Karma Yoga. Okay, all these things you should do as an offering to Lord Krishna. That is what this sloka says. And I think in the 3rd chapter I explained you much about it, so there's not that much explanation required. And now let us come to the last sloka of this chapter, one of the very most important slokas in the chapter. I also mentioned before that I'll be explaining one of the slokas which will be repeated twice in Bhagavad Gita. Means it is not exactly repeated, but like almost. Okay, so now this is the sloka. Okay, it is also repeated in the 18th chapter, I think 65th verse. Yeah. Okay. Let us see this sloka. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mamai vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Who would like to read the translation?
Prabhuji,
Yes.
being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me.
Read
Engage
the
your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer your obeisances to me. Worship me. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay. So basically, what does this say? Man mana. That is, first engage your mind in thinking of me. Then bhava mad bhakto. Man mana bhava. Then mad bhakto. Become my devotee. Madhyaji. Offer obeisance. No. Worship me. Mam namaskuru. Offer obeisances. Mamai vaishasi yuktvayam. Atmanam madparayana. That being completely absorbed in me, you will surely come to me. Now see, uh, Krishna has told us these 4 things are very important. Okay, but let us see. Okay, now let us see. Okay, let us see one by one. Okay, mana, that is engage your mind in thinking of me. Okay, now you say to Krishna, sorry, that is not possible. Okay, that I can engage mind anywhere except you. We can engage our mind in watching movies. We can engage our mind in playing games. We can engage our mind in doing some other type of activities. But no, in this because of our infected material condition, we don't feel any interest in. Okay, especially we see in chanting. Okay, people think, oh, this is just mantra, man, how many times should I repeat this? I can't engage the mind in thinking of Lord Krishna. Okay, like become my devotee. No, I cannot become your devotee. Sorry, uh, because becoming your devotee is also not an easy task. You have to perform daily worship and do so many things and all. Okay, you have to follow so many rules and so many things. This much I can't do. Okay, I can become a devotee of social media. I can become devotee or a follower of anything. Okay, I can become a follower of some random person in social media who has some amount of followers, some famous personality. No, I cannot become your devotee. Okay, because in becoming your devotee there are so many rules and all those things. Okay, next you will. Okay, now Krishna says, okay, then you do one thing, you worship me. Okay, maybe worshipping is like you have to do every day. So it's like some days I don't have time. What if I'm outside my home? Some days I might not have that much facilities to do the things. Then how can I do worship, uh, do the worship and all regular worship? Sorry, it's not possible. Okay, now then there's like a last option. Okay, offer obeisances to me. Maybe once in a time when you visit the temple, whenever you see a temple in the way, you can you can do you can you can have darshan and offer obeisances. Maybe sometimes you can perform participate in artis, which are happening in the temples and all. Look, okay, that I can do. So then what happens is that one who starts offering obeisances to Lord Krishna starts worshipping him. Once who worships him, he will slowly become a devotee. And once you become a devotee, you slowly by a gradual process, we see you will come to the final stage that your mind will be completely fixed in the service of the Supreme Lord. In fact, we see in the 8th chapter, last chapter only, we saw, I think, in the 7th verse, Krishna is saying to Arjuna that continue, fighting your war, but along with it, you have to keep your mind fixed in the Supreme Lord. Okay. But we see that is very difficult. So how do you do that? First, start offering obeisances. Then you will slowly start worshipping him. Then you slowly start becoming his devotee. And at the end, you will engage your mind, senses, and your activities in the service of the Supreme Lord. Manasa, vacha, karma. Okay. So therefore, that is how we can understand this sloka. Okay. Summary of the chapter. Okay. What did we see is that why is this called most confidential knowledge? Because it deals with topics of pure devotion. Why did Lord Krishna impart this knowledge to Arjuna? Because he was never envious of Krishna. Then we see the 9 process of devotional service. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakhyam Atmani Nivedanam. Hearing, chanting, remembering, serving the lotus feet, deity worship, praying, executing, becoming servant, serving as a friend, and complete surrender. These are the 9 processes. Who considers Krishna as an ordinary being? The foolish people or the mudha. Okay. Why should we eat prasadam? To purify mind, to advance in bhakti, and to develop finer tissues. And the 4 things offered to Lord Krishna is that leaf, water, fruit, or flower. And I think you can do this as an activity. By the time you have next week, okay, next week, you can once, yourself or go to your, temple in your house and offer either one of these things to the Supreme Lord, okay? And if you have offered, you can tell me in the next class, okay? This you can do as an activity if you want to do, okay? But anyways, it would be good, it will be very nice. Krishna will also be very pleased. And also, see, main thing is, okay, main thing you have to offer with love and devotion, okay? You will say, you can, either chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you can do some prayers, that, oh Krishna, please accept my, offering towards you. With so much of love and devotion, I have, prepared this thing for you. Please accept it. You can offer some prayers also while you are. Now, see, prayers doesn't necessarily have to be in, through mantras or anything. You can means if you know the Mangalacharan or all those things, you can of course offer through mantras also. But if you don't even know, you can just offer prayers in whatever language you feel preferable. Okay, because Krishna understands all the things. Okay, he can even understand a cow. Even through how the cow makes voices, he can understand what the cow is trying to say. Okay, so therefore you can offer it to Lord Krishna like that. Okay, this you can do as an activity. Now with this we will come to the end of this chapter. If you have any doubts, please tell me, or if you have any doubts, you can please tell me. Otherwise, we will,
Mata, can you send that
I'll
notes
share
of
the attendance link and then you can leave the class. Whatever you say.
Dasi, can you send me that notes of chapter 7th and 8th?
Okay. Today I'll be sharing all the 3 chapters notes, 7th, 8th, and 9th, along with the video recordings. Okay, so some of these chapter video recordings, I think, I don't know, maybe if it will be available, I will check. Okay. Hare Krishna.